Here we're going to be talking about expressions, and we're going to be using expressions to represent real-world situations. So Jenny tweets 33 times a day, Antonio posts 5 tweets every day, and D will represent the given number of days. So we're going to use an algebraic expression to describe Jenny's total posts after any given number of days. Okay, so if she tweets 33 times a day, that would be 33 times D for the number of days. Then we're going to create an algebraic expression to describe Antonio's total posts after any given number of days. Well, Antonio has 5 tweets every day, so that'd be 5 times D for the number of days. And if we want to combine them, we're going to write an algebraic expression to describe the combined total posts for Jenny and Antonio after any given number of days. So Jenny's expression was 33D, Antonio's expression was 5D, the combined total would be adding them together, and this would be an algebraic expression. If we want to write an equivalent expression, these are like terms. We could combine this to write 38D. Awesome. Now, after 5 days, how many tweets have Antonio and Jenny posted all together? So that means we're assigning D equals 5 in this case, so 38 times 5. You could use a calculator if you're able to, if you want to multiply this out. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 30 is 150. This is mental math here. 150 plus 40 is 190. And I'm going to double check. Awesome, so it's 190 tweets. So let's discuss more on the next page. We have Mario and Luigi are going to buy a Nintendo Switch for $299. Now, Nintendo Switch games cost $59.99 each. They plan to purchase one console. Use an algebraic expression to describe how much they will spend before sales tax based on purchasing the console and the number of games. Well, on this page, we need to identify the variables. On the last page, they gave them to you. So I would use, let's say, let C equal the number of consoles you're going to buy, number of consoles, and G will equal the number of games. Let's do that. And if we do, then the expression would be $299 times C for the number of consoles plus $59.99 times G for the number of games. Now, specifically, if they purchase one console and 3 games, how much will they spend before sales tax? So that means we're going to substitute in a 1 for C for one console and a 3 for G because it's 3 games. I would plug that into a calculator, and upon doing so, you will get $478.97. Oh, we have more here, because Mario and Luigi want to purchase some extra controllers for their friends. Now, each controller costs $29.99. Use an algebraic expression to describe how much they will spend in total, but before sales tax, based on purchasing the console, the number of games, and now the number of extra controllers. So in this case, I'm going to let, I can't use C because I already used C for console, so I will use R to be the number of controllers. How about that? So now, the expression would be 299 times C plus 59.99 times G. Again, that's $299 times C, the number of consoles, plus $59.99 times G, the number of games, plus $29.99 times R for the number of controllers. And with this expression, what would be the total cost before sales tax if Mario and Luigi purchase one console, 3 games, and 2 extra controllers? Here, I'm back. Okay, so here we go. One console, 3 games, 2 extra controllers. Break out that calculator, you'll get $538.95. Now, Like I said earlier, on the last page the variable was given to you. On this page we had to go ahead and define the variables, which brings us to a very nice... When defining variables, choose variables that make sense to you, such as H for hours, or D for days, or C for console, G for games. So if they're not defined for you, when you define them, make sure they make sense to you. And I would like you to try this example, okay? So pause the video, read through the paragraph, and answer the question. Pause now. Give it a try. Mika and Crystal purchased 2 movie tickets, and tickets cost $8.50 each. Drinks cost $3.50 each, and boxes of candy cost $3 each. Use an algebraic expression to describe how much they will spend based on the number of tickets, drinks, and boxes of candy they buy. Also, identify the parts of the expression by underlining the coefficients, circling the constants, and drawing a box around the variables. Okay, so first of all, what are the variables here? Well, it would be the boxes of candy and the drinks. So I will let D equal the number of drinks, and C equal the boxes of candy. I could do B for box, or I do, see, candy's boxes of candy. That's what I'll define the variables as. So now I'm going to have, it's $8.50, and they have to buy 2 tickets, 1 for each to get in, plus drinks were $3.50 each, so $3.50 times D for the number of drinks, plus candy was $3, so 3 times C. Okay, now furthermore it said, underline the coefficients. Okay, so the coefficients are the numbers in front of the variables is one way to describe them. Circle the constants. They have to buy 2 movie tickets to get in, so that's constant, that's not changing. And then we're going to draw a box around the variables. Well, there you go. Awesome. We got another one. Here we go. Ramiro brought home 10 pounds of rice to add to the 24 ounces of rice he had in the pantry. Hold on. Pounds, ounces, they're not the same units. We should convert them all to either pounds or ounces. That way we can go ahead and combine appropriately. So I'm going to convert, let's do pounds. So we have 24 ounces, and we need to know that for every 16 ounces, there's 1 pound. So you multiply 1 pound over 16 ounces. 24 divided by 16 would be 1.5 pounds. So now we can say Ramiro brought home 10 pounds of rice to add to the 1.5 pounds of rice he had in the pantry. Let X represent the amount of rice Ramiro uses over the next few days, and we'll make sure X is in pounds to make sure we're staying with the same measurement here. Write an algebraic expression to describe the amount of rice remaining in Ramiro's pantry. Well, 10 pounds plus the 1.5 pounds, and X is the amount used, so minus X would be how much remains in the pantry. I can write an equivalent expression, 11.5 minus X if I want to, but that would be an expression either way to describe the amount of rice remaining in Ramiro's pantry. Are there any constraints on X? Yeah, X can't be negative, okay, first of all, so I would say X has to be greater than or equal to, give me 0, okay? Doesn't have to use any rice. But also, it can't be more than 11.5 pounds because that's all he has. So X has to be less than or equal to, if he wants to use it all up, equal to 11.5. And that's how we can describe the constraints on X. All ultimately getting us ready to beat the test. So here we go. We got 2 questions here. Jose is going to have the exterior of his home painted. Now, he will choose between Crystal Clean Painting and Elegance Home Painting. Crystal Clean Painting charges $175 to come out and evaluate the house, plus $7 for every additional 30 minutes of work. Elegance Home Painting charges $23 per hour of work, period. H represents the number of hours for which Jose hires a painter. Which of the following statements are true? Select all that apply. So first of all, let's go ahead and get the expressions for each one of these painting companies. So we got Crystal Clean Painting, I'll just abbreviate Crystal, charges $175 plus, it says $7 for 30 minutes, which would be $14 for hours, because remember, we're using H for hours here, so be very careful about, again, the measurements here. Then we had Elegance Home Painting, I'll just write Elegance, charges just $23 per hour. So now that I have, everything kind of summarized from that big paragraph, now let's see all that could apply. The expression 14H represents the total charge for Crystal Clean Painting. No, it does not. We still have $175 for that initial evaluation, so I will not check that box. The expression 23H represents the total charge for Elegance Home Painting. Yes, it does. Awesome. The expression 175 plus 14H plus 23H represents the total amount Jose will spend for the painters to paint the exterior of his home. We're only hiring one or the other. We're not going to combine them together, so I will not check that box. If Jose hires the painters for 10 hours, Elegance Home Painting will be cheaper. Let's find out. Let's plug in a 10 for H here. 175 plus 14 times 10 versus 23 times 10. 23 times 10 is 230. That'll be 175 plus 140, which is 315, and Elegance Home Painting will be cheaper. However, if Jose hires the painters for 20 hours, then Crystal Clean Painting will be cheaper. Let's plug in a 20 for H and find out. 23 times 20 is $460. 14 times 20 is 280. 280 plus 175. Use your calculator if you need to. You get 455, which is less than 460. Not much, but it still is cheaper, and I will check that box. And there we go. We have one more question to beat the test on the next page. During harvesting season at Florida Blue Farms, hand pickers, that's where they pick, collect about 200 pounds of blueberries per day with a 95% pack-out rate. The blueberry harvester machine, so think of the machine here, collects 22,000 pounds of blueberries per day with a 90% pack-out rate. Well, what's a pack-out rate? That's the first question I'm thinking of, and here it is. The pack-out rate is the rate, or is the percentage of collected blueberries that can be packaged to be sold. So basically, the machine collects, but only 90% of them are going to be actual, packaged to be sold, versus the hand pickers, it's 95% to be packaged to be sold. And this is based on Florida Blue Farms quality standards. We're going to let H represent the number of days for the hand pickers, so H is for the hand pickers, and M is the number of days for the machine. Which of the following algebraic expressions can be used to estimate the amount of collected blueberries that are packed at the Florida Blue Farms for fresh consumption this season? Okay, so the hand pickers collect 200 per day, so that'd be 200 times H. But it's got a 95% pack-out rate, so you would take 95% or 0.95 of that total. Plus, the machine collects 22,000 for each day, but their pack-out rate is 90%, so that's 0.9 or 0.90. And setting that all up for the combined total, adding them together, it looks like the answer is B. There it is. So if you notice in this case, I actually went ahead and wrote out the expression and then compared. Because a lot of times if you just look at all the expressions, you might confuse yourself. So a nice little study edge tip there is don't look at the actual answers necessarily. If it's too complicated, take your time to figure it out on your own. And on your own, the point of this was making sure you could use expressions to represent real-world situations, okay? And again, sometimes you're given the variable, and if you're not, you should pick the variable that makes sense to you.